Hello, welcome to a new broadcast on UTV. Today is September 1st. I'm Alfan. And let's start with the headlines of this week. China's Vice President Han Zheng met with Jem Claffey, the Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs of the United Kingdom, in Beijing on Wednesday. Han said China and the UK have established diplomatic relations at the ambassadorial level for more than half a century and achieved positive results in the practical cooperation in various fields. Faced with the risks and challenges of current international situation, the two sides, as the permanent member of the UN Security Council and major economies in the world, should uphold the spirit of mutual respect and willing cooperation, accommodate each other's core interests and major concerns, maintain communication in international and regional affairs, and jointly promote world peace and development, he added. Economic and trade cooperation is the foundation for the sound and steady development of the China-UK relations, Han said, adding that the two governments should create a sound business environment and actively explore new growth points for practical cooperation. Noting that China is an important country with global influence and is playing an increasingly important role in international governance. Claffey said the UK appreciates China's important contribution to the world economy and poverty reduction. The UK is willing to strengthen high-level exchanges and strategic communication with China to build consensus and deepen cooperation, said Claffey. The United States announced on Tuesday an additional package of military assistance to Ukraine with $250 million. The latest assistance is executed under a previous directive from President Joe Biden using the PDA. Weapons and equipment are being provided through his approach and drawn directly from the Department of Defense inventories for Ukraine. This is the Biden administration's 45th PDA-related military aid to Ukraine since August 2021, according to DoD list of the latest weapon heading to Ukraine. With the conflict still grading on, there has been a growing domestic opposition, especially from the Republican Party, to using U.S. taxpayer money to increase the funding to Ukraine identifiably. During the first GOP primary debate on August 23rd, several of the party's candidates from the 2024 presidential election voiced their frustration over the Biden administration's policy of supporting Ukraine military for as long as it takes. A First Nation has found 79 suspected child grave signs and 14 potential infant grave sites at a former residential school in Saskatchewan, Canada. This is not a final number. It breaks my heart that there are likely more. English River First Nation Chief Jenny Wolverine was quoted as saying during a news conference in Saskatchewan, the capital city of Saskatchewan in central Canada, on Tuesday. We were not sure what to expect and what we would find, but we did know the stories that were shared over the generations about the treatment of the students and those students who never returned home, Wolverine said in the report. According to the report, the English River Chief called upon the federal and the provincial governments to provide resources for the First Nations search effort. English River started searching the site of the former Bovell Indiana Residential School in August 2021 using ground-penetrating radar, the report said, and that research team is preparing to move into the second phase of the search. Chairman of Sudan's Sovereign Council Abdel Fattah el-Burhan arrived in Egypt on Tuesday for talks with Egyptian President to address conflict in Khartoum. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi welcomed him at the coastal El Alamein International Airport in the northern part of the country. This marks the first trip for el-Burhan. He was also the general commander of the SAF since the clashes broke out between the SAF and the paramilitary RSF in mid-April. The two leaders will discuss development in Sudan and means of developing Egyptian-Sudanese relations as well as issues of mutual concern, said a statement of the Sudanese Council. Since April 15, Deadly armed clashes between the SAF and the RSF in Khartoum and other areas have killed over 3,000 people and injured more than 6,000, according to the Sudanese Health Military. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva said that BRICS has become more powerful, stronger and more important since it was announced last week that more countries were joining the bloc of emerging economies. In his regular weekly broadcast, Conversation with the President, Lula took stock of the bloc leaders summit held in the South African city of Johannesburg. I think the world will no longer be the same after the enlargement of the BRICS, at least in economic discussions, he said. The bloc can launch a common currency to ease the trade between members because we don't need to continue trade with the dollar, Lula said. The initiative is not against the dollar, but rather serves to bolster Brazil's economy, said Lula. It benefits Brazil, Brazilian trade, derail. At the summit, BRICS that groups Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa announced the start of an expansion process that will see several countries join the bloc in January 2024. Let's get to some news flashes. France will ban children from wearing the abaya, the loose-fitting, full-length robes worn by some Muslim women in state-run schools, its education minister said on Sunday ahead of the back-to-school season. When you walk into the classroom, you shouldn't be able to identify the pupil's region just by looking at them, Education Minister Gabriel Attal said in the interview. The Gabonese military have claimed that they have taken power and put President Ali Bongo under house arrest. A group of senior Gabonese officers said that they seized power after Bongo, the incumbent president, was announced to be re-elected in a contested election. The election results were cancelled, state institutions dissolved, and all borders closed until further notice, they said. The United Nations has reopened its European headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, after early on Friday shutting it due to an intrusion. Please be informed that the issue at the Paladins Nation has now been solved. All the access points have been reopened, it said in a statement. A spokesperson later said in the closure was Zimbabwe's Citizens Coalition for Change Party until they rejected President-elected Emmerson Mnangagwa's win in the August 23rd to 24th election and called for fresh election. Gift Sizabal, deputy spokesperson for the CCC, said the electoral process was marred by irregularities and the country should prepare for fresh elections supervised by international bodies, including the Southern African Development Community and the African Union. Climate change is likely to worsen conflict in the fragile and war-torn states, resulting in higher death rates and greatly reduced GDP. The International Monetary Fund said in a report on Wednesday, death from the conflict as the share of the population should increase by close to 10% in fragile countries by 2060, the IMF said. The State Council plans to build the Shenzhen-Hong Kong Science and Technology Zone will bring together to the two areas' respective strengths, promote innovation and research, expand market opportunities and enhance international connections with policy support, experts said. The plan will bring benefits to Hong Kong as it turns toward the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, which is led by the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, and will expand its market, said Chi Fu-lin, president of the China Institute for Reform and Development. That's it for today's radio broadcast. Thanks for watching. You can get access to more instant news on our website, WeChat public account or apps. I'm Alpha. Bye for now.
It's terrible. Right now, we are facing a poaching crisis like never before. Hundreds of rhinos dying, and people too. So please, ask our leaders to do more to fight wildlife crime. We don't want your money, we want your voice. Because poaching steals from us all.